and thank you for joining me today. My name is Fiona Whitten and I am an independent UK demonstrator based in Wokingham in Berkshire in the good old UK. So today I'm popping on to share with you a really fun, as an oldie, a goodie and an oldie, waterfall card. I know these have been around for ages and ages and ages, but I haven't made one for, I don't know, I can't even remember. So I shared this with the Acorns on Monday in our craft along and thought I would share it with you today. Hopefully you have seen the post that I put up on Facebook, which had the cutting instructions for this, so that you could cut stuff before you started watching, and then you can craft along. But I just want to show you, this is the one that I made Monday, and this is how it works. And hopefully, let's see, you can see this. So we start off and you literally just pull the tag and you have a sentiment inside, and voila, there you go. And there's all sorts of things that you can do with this. This is just a simple put on a card front. It's a standard UK size card, just made out of thick basic white. So this is what I'm going to show you today. Before I do that, I'll just quickly show. So this paper that I've used here is from, it's one of the celebration items, just so you know if you're wondering where it's come from. So it's the beautifully penned designer series paper. It's black and white, and I simply took my Stampin blends to it and coloured it. So there's a mixture of polished pink and daffodil delight and soft succulent. And I didn't go and colour every single piece, so I didn't colour this one. I just coloured the larger flowers that I used. Whoops, it would help if I actually pulled the mechanism. And then again, the sentiment and everything is just stamped in black, and then coloured again using some Stampin blends. And there is lots of Wink of Stella. I don't know if you can see here, but it's pretty shiny. And it is dead simple. So I'm not going to use the same paper today. Thought I would have fun with the penguins. So that's what I'm going to share with you. If you're wondering, the penguins, the paper, which I'm only using a little bit, is also a celebration item. So the Penguin Playmates is another celebration item. So I'm just using a little bit of that, not a lot. And then the rest of it I am actually going to stamp. I'm going to be brave. So without further ado, I'm going to bring in the pieces that I have pre-cut. So I have pre-cut my basic card. So this is a piece of thick basic white. It's an A4 sheet that's been cut in half, so the rest of it you would find normally up there. So it measures 21 centimetres by 14.9, and then I've scored it at 10.5. So it's just your basic white cardstock. If you have card blanks, then obviously you can use them, that's no problem. Here's my piece of Penguin Playmates paper. I'm not going to use this side, although it's very cute. I'm just going to keep it plain because I want it as a background. I want what's on the waterfall to stand out a bit. So I'm just going to keep it with the trees on. So that's what I'm going to go as my my paper. I have my piece of basic white, which measures 5 centimetres by 23.5. So it's 5 centimetres by 23.5. And funnily enough, that 5 centimetres just fits in nicely into the tag topper punches. So this width here, the largest one, is 2 inches or 5 centimeters. So that fits in really, really nicely. So that's what I'm going to use. So I have that. I have my 4 squares, my 4 5 centimeter by 5 centimeter squares. So I'm using basic black, and funnily enough, yep, they fit just nicely onto the width of that strip of white. And then I have cut another piece of black. You could, obviously you can use whatever colours that you like. Stick with something that either coordinates or really stands out from the paper that you're using for your background. So this is my piece. It's actually what's going to hold the waterfall card in. So it's 3 centimeters by 10, which is the width of the paper that you cut. So the paper is 10 centimeters wide by 14.4. It's basically half a centimetre shorter and narrower than your card base. I like to have everything right. I go down by half a centimetre each time when I'm doing my layers. If you're in the US, then you would be cutting everything down usually by 1/4 of an inch or sometimes even 1/8, but I just stick to the half a centimetre. So I have that, and then I also have my 4 pieces of white cardstock, which measure 4.5 by 4.5 centimetres, so they fit just nicely onto my larger squares of black cardstock. So that's everything that I have already pre-cut. I hope you have had a chance to do that too, so that you can craft along. Obviously, if you haven't, don't worry. This is being recorded, so it will get posted later. Oh, excuse me. So you will be able to pick this up late in the day. Just want to say good afternoon to everyone. Just suddenly thought, I can't see comments, so if you've got questions or anything like that, please feel free to leave them in the comments, and I will do my best to answer them as quickly as possible after this is finished. Okay, so let's carry on now. So I'm going to bring in my trimmer, but I don't actually want my cutting blade. I just want my scoring blade. So the trimmer has both on. So, and it goes up and down this guide here. So I'm just going to move my cutting blade out of the way. So you're going to take your piece of the strip of white cardstock and you're going to score it. It's very simple. You're going to score it at 5 centimeters, 7 centimeters, 9 centimeters, and then the last one is 11 centimeters. So this is the actual waterfall mechanism. So it's your strip, and from one end you're going to score at 5, 7, 9 and 11 centimeters. And you're just going to carefully just fold those over, and you'll notice that when you fold it back on itself, it doesn't quite meet the end. And that's the whole point. That's the bit that you can then use to pull. So I don't need my trimmer anymore, so I'm going to put that to one side. What I'm going to do before I forget though is I'm going to punch the opposite end. So this is where all the scoring is. If you open it up, so you've got all the scoring on the left hand side, and on the right hand side you're going to put this, the right hand side, into your tag topper punch, and you're simply going to punch down like that. And I've been having a little bit of a problem with this the last couple of times I've used it, so I'm not too happy. I'm going to have to get some silver foil to it and see if I can sharpen it a little bit. So it's just leaving a little bit. So I'm just going to use a pair of scissors just to neaten that bit up. Yeah, good old foil is really good for sharpening your punches and things. So I'm going to have to do that. Okay, so as you can see, it just pokes out just nicely from there. So, and this is where these spaces here are where you are going to glue your squares once you've decorated them. Obviously, you can use, there's no reason why you shouldn't use designer series paper. So you can, rather than cutting squares of white, you can simply cut 4 lots of 4.5 by 4.5 centimetre squares of designer series paper, which is what I did here. So depending on how much time you have to hand to make this, then and this is not cheating, because I did actually then go back and use my blends to colour things. So it's almost as time consuming as the just stamping. But yeah, there's no reason why you can't use paper just to decorate those and to make it nice and quick. What you don't want to do is start adding other embellishments or making it taller, because then the mechanism will not fold back and slide under the piece that holds it onto the card. So I need to decorate these, and I also need to decorate the inside of my card. Oh, not my card, my waterfall mechanism. So I'm just going to put these black pieces to one side. I don't know what happened. I put them to one side and then I can't find them. But hey, that's life. That's crafters. They're usually there in front of you, but you can just never see them and feel like you're a bit blind at times. So I'm going to use the Penguin Place stamp set. So you will find that in the July to December mini catalogue. It's a lot of fun. You can buy it individually or you can buy it as a bundle with the Penguin Punch. I'm not actually going to need this today, but and the nice thing about this is you can actually use this shape here to cut out some of the paper. I might do that, I don't know, I can't decide. So you want something that image-wise will fit onto here, or if you don't mind it sort of going off to one side, then that's fine too. So the Penguin Place stamp set is photopolymer, so it's clear, which is great because it means that you can simply see where you're stamping. So I'm just going to put on my, actually I'm going to put them down so I don't, if you don't feel confident enough that you don't end up putting your penguin out of shape when you come to put it on your block, if you just simply place it down on your grid paper or scratch paper, whatever it is you use, and then pick it up from there, like so. So we have that one, which is the straightforward penguin, and then we have one that is, he's on a slope, so I think I'm going to use him as well. Let's just put him down, and you can see from the colour of this is that I've obviously used him quite a bit, like so. Ooh, there's a bit of glitter on there, I think that must be inside. Take that off. Shouldn't really affect how it stamps, but just to be sure. Oh, there's a bit of on my, that's it. That's that. Now, and in the stamp set there are lots of fun little things that you can use and add. So there are, first of all, you want to find the beak. So for the one that is standing directly looking at you, you want to use this. It's a tiny little stamp, so you need to be careful not to misplace it. And I know we've all done it. So there's the beak. And then we've got things like hats, scarves, bow ties, reindeer antlers which we can put on. Let's see how we go. So he will fit directly onto here. Now, the other thing that I didn't do, which I should have done before I started, was re-ink my Memento pad. For those of you who have never re-inked an ink pad before, it's pretty straightforward. Be it a Memento one or a Stampin' Up one. First off, don't shake the bottle. You don't want any air bubbles going into it. And you literally, for the Memento, you just literally put it onto the pad and let it soak in. You don't want to put too much in on it. And then just don't forget to put the lid back on. If you're using the putting the ink refills onto your Stampin' Up ink pads, then you may need a piece of card or old credit card. Sometimes the ink sits on top, and you'll just need to give it a little bit of a helping hand to be absorbed. So this is probably going to be, hopefully it's going to give me a nice clean image now. Let's see, I need to make sure that... Right, so I'm going to stamp him on here. Give it a bit of a helping hand by pushing quite hard. Yeah, he's okay. So I've got my little penguin, and I'm going to do a couple more. I think I'm going to do some cheeky ones where he's just kind of peering up or down or sideways. Let's do one though he's coming in sideways. I'm going peekaboo. That's that one. I did say I was going to use this one, didn't I? So let's use that one as well. He looks like he's gone to sleep, but I'm going to put him at an angle like that. And then I'm going to do the ground, and then this one. Let's see what I'm going to do. I'm going to do another one of these penguins, I think, but I'm not going to have him. I'm going to have him. Oops. Yeah, I need to be careful as well that you're not. Right. Okay. So I've kind of stamped the basic penguins. I need to stamp the beaks. So I've got this. So I've got the little one that for where he's pointing directly at us. I'm just going to put his beak on. I'm using Calypso Coral for this. So there's his beak on one. On the other. And he can have I've obviously put a little bit too much on that one, but okay, I'm going to go with it anyway. So this one, you don't want to use this beak. Use a different beak in here. So I'll put that to one side and find it. So it's one that looks like it's to the side, and then I have to remember which way it goes. So there is, I don't know if you can see, there's like a little line here going across, which is obviously where the beak is supposed to open and shut. So, you can see him there, so he's got slightly, looks like he's got a slight overbite, but there you go. Right, okay, so I've done the beaks. What else can we do? Well, we can, basically it's up to us. We can do what we like. I think I'm going to have him like coming down like that. So we've got antlers. Let's have some fun with the antlers. I haven't cleaned my stamps yet, so I'm just very carefully peeling them off and putting them back onto the box. So who can have some antlers? I think he's going to have some antlers. Now I'm kind of sticking to the in colours for the 2021-23 in colours. So this one is Pale Papaya. Not quite in antler colour, but you know what? It's my card. I can go with whatever colour I want. So I'm going to stamp the antlers onto here. He's got some antlers on, so he's going to go there. Then I'm going to stamp, I think I'm going to put a bobble hat on one, or maybe a couple. There's obviously not much point in sticking a bobble hat on that one because it's going to not be seen. I'll do something different. So bobble hat, I think I'm going to go with polished pink. So I'm going to stick his bobble hat on him. There's one. There's two. Well, we've got scarves. I could put a scarf on him. Let's take the antlers off. So I'm going to go with scarf. Let's close that up as well. What colour shall we go for the... I might go one of the greens, I think. It goes Evening Evergreen. So you're going to have a scarf on. He's got his Evening Evergreen scarf on. So is he. And then he can have a bow tie. I think that's what I'm going to do. Just find the bow tie. There it is. I'm going to go slightly different colour for the bow tie. I'm going to go soft succulent, I think. So he can have a soft succulent bow tie. And then there's also sort of other things that you can do. There's some background. So there's trees. I think I might do some trees on this one just to give an impression that he's out and about. A tree there. This is a very juicy ink pad. And then I'm going to, so you know what? I don't really want the line on there, so I need to stamp off first and then do it. So it just gives an impression of he's got something in the background. You can just see the trees there. What's he we're going to do with this one? Oh, we can do some snowflakes. So let's do some snowflakes for that one. So we've got what kind of snowflakes should we do? We haven't used the fresh freesia, so let's do some fresh freesia snowflakes. And don't worry if you're going off the page, it's off the thing that you're stamping on. It really does not matter. Right, so we've got trees, we've got snowflakes. He's supposed to be upside down. So I think I might actually give that some trees as well. That way you will know he's upside down. I'll bring back that stamp. And you can either do like I did a minute ago, where you've just used the one colour to stamp the trees, or you can obviously and stamp off like this, or you can just use different colours. It's really, oops, so there we go. So that's the trees, and then last but not least, we've got him coming down the slope, but you don't know he's actually on a slope, so we might just want to put the slope in. Obviously I don't want the whole thing, but the slope is all just one large stamp, long stamp, and it is very long, as you can see. It's a bit too long for this block, but I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to do that in black as well, I think. Although, oh, here we go. I do have a Misty Moonlight to hand, so I'm going to actually do that in Misty Moonlight. Carefully ink that up, because obviously you want to be sure that you're actually inking the line and not the side. So when you're putting it on your block, you do just need to take a little bit of care. Let's see. Sorry, I'm going to have to just move that in front of me so that I can see where I'm going, in the vague hope that I get it in the right place. So there we go. So those are my 4 images. So he's going to go upside down. He's poking his head in. He's there. And then he's coming down the slope. So that's that. And then the last thing I need to do is I need to stamp a sentiment. Now the sentiment is going to go in here. And it's going to go in this space here, so it can't be wider than 5 centimeters, but it can be lots of words going down there. So the sentiments on here are not necessarily, see, they're all quite long, but that's easy to sort out. So I'm going to use the one that says, to the coolest friend ever. So I'm just, again, going to put this down flat. You can use your grid paper to make sure that it's straight. I can't see from here because it's an angle from me, but I'm just going to go for it. So, and let's see, I am going to go with a Misty Moonlight. So if you're careful, so you can do this one of 2 ways. You can have some washi tape and blank off the words that you don't want, or because this is photopolymer, you can just ink up, because you can see where you are. So I want the to the coolest, that bit there. So just that bit is picking up the ink. And then I'm going to stamp on here. Like that. Now what you do need to do then is make sure that you give that a really good clean before you stamp again, because you want to then ink up the other part. So make sure that you do give it really good clean. Try it on there, make sure it's fine. So, and then turned it upside down so that I can just get the friend ever. and then obviously then turn it around the right way so that you can, got a little hair on there or something, and then try like that. There you go, to the coolest friend ever. And I think I am going to put some more snowflakes on here just to decorate it so that it doesn't look too plain. Let's close my Misty Moonlight ink pad before I do anything else. Bring back the fresh freezer. You don't have to get too mad with it. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it like that because then you can then write, or you can leave that blank. It's entirely up to you, or you can fill it with image. I mean, the nice thing about this, it's got happy birthday. This stamp says there's happy birthday and all sorts of things that you can use. Right, so now is the time to start assembling things. So I've got my 4 images. I need to glue those to my coloured pieces of cardstock. So I'm just going to use some Tombow, some multi-purpose glue, liquid glue like this, because you can actually move things around. You don't need heaps and heaps of it. So let's get these glued up quickly. That's number 2. Number 3. And number 4. Find it, there we go. So that's the 4 squares. So he's going to go upside down. He's going to go like peekaboo. He's straightforward and he's coming down the hill. Right, so there's my 4 images. Then you want to glue this piece of double-sided paper to the card front. Again, I'm using liquid glue because it gives me some wiggle room, as I said, and it means that I can make sure that it is where I want it to be, which is in the middle of the card. So if you put it on, you can see I've got some wiggle room, and then make sure that there's an equal border all the way around, and that's fine, like that. So that's my basic card. Now, this piece, as I said, is the bit that holds the waterfall part onto your card. So what you want to do is you want to look to check it out. So this is 3 centimeters. So there's 3 centimeters, and you want it to go up another 3 centimeters. So the bottom portion is 3 centimeters up from the bottom, like so. You can measure and mark if you want to, or do it roughly by eye. And what you want to do is you want to use as strong adhesive as possible. And I'm just going to use some multi-purpose glue. And you want to just put a little bit on each edge, because you want to hold that down, and then the mechanism is going to slide underneath the middle of this. And I'm doing this bit now so that there's time for it to dry. So just a little bit, little line each end If you've got tear tape or anything like that, that's fine. You just want to make sure that it is on the edge. So I'm going to go, and if you line it up with your grid paper, you can then, this is why I like my grid paper, because I can use it to line up. Do you know what, I'm going to go there. Okay, like that. Hopefully that's straight. So leave that to dry, and we'll go back to the waterfall portion itself. So you want it so that you're looking at the sentiment, which is inside. You want to fold this over. Now these spaces here, so you've got the 5 centimetre square at the bottom, and then these 3 strips above it are where you are going to attach your images. And you're going to work from the bottom going up. So the bottom one is the one that you will see the most when this is open. So you need to decide which one you want in the bottom. So I'm going to put him in the bottom. And then you also want to decide which one you want at the top. And I think I'm actually going to use that one for the top. So starting, as I said, starting from the bottom going up. So what I'm going to do is, I know that that's the right way round, and I'm just going to flip it open that way. So basically when you're gluing it, you cannot see the sentiment. The sentiment is up here behind this. So for the square, you want to make sure that it's fixed onto the bottom square. And try and line it up so he's poking his head around the corner, sort of thing, so playing peekaboo. So oops. And if it helps, just fold over this so that you can make sure that you haven't gone over, because you do not want to go over the crease. You want to make sure it's just below it. Okay, like that. So that's my bottom one. Him I know is going at the top. And then I'm kind of need to decide which ones I want to do. So I'm going to do the penguin that's coming down the hill next. So you just want to put glue or your adhesive in that strip. You don't want to go over the top. You don't want to go to the bottom. So again, I'm just going to use some multi-purpose glue, like so. And you're going to put that on here. That. So effectively the bottom is loose, and try and line up everything so that the black or the coloured edges go all the way up the card. So don't put it on here, you want to put it on here. So he's going to go on here. Like so. Really, the decorating is what takes the longest on this card, and so if you're using double-sided paper, this process is really very quick. And then I've got him going upside down, like so. So right, I just need to tweak that a bit, I think. If you need to trim a little bit off the edges, so be it. Looks like I might have to trim a little bit off the bottom one. It's probably a bit too dry. It's dry now. So anyway, so this is going to be your waterfall now. Make sure that's dry before you do anything else. Now, depending on what topper you've used, you're going to need some ribbon. So I've got some of the checked, it's very cute. It's called the gingham ribbon. I somehow seem to manage to unravel half of it, but don't need that much. You don't need a lot. That's probably more than enough. My scissors. Makes a change. I'm not looking for my dimensionals. I'm not even using those today. So you want to thread your ribbon through. I have to remember which way to do this. So I have my loop. So I have my loop that way. I want it to go the other way. So if you thread it through from the front, like so. I always have to think about this. So thread it through from the front, open up the loop, and then just put those loose ends through. And then just slowly, carefully pull them so that they don't need to be really tight. And I'm not going to trim this just yet because I want to make sure it's the right length. So we're now going to thread this through and between that piece of cardstock that is going across. And you want to center so that your images are in the middle of your card, so that they're in the center, left, right, and top and bottom. Okay, and then there's one last thing that you need to do, and once you're happy with where it is, obviously make sure it's straight, open it up, and then you're going to want to put a piece of tear tape. I would use glue, but I really wouldn't, don't want to squidge it everywhere, because what you want to do is you want to fix this one down to it. So let's try again. Now I don't have any tear tape with me, but I do have the old, you didn't see this, the old red tape, you know, that stuff that you can't ever get the backing off. So you want to make sure that it's within that 5 centimetre portion. Just put it on here like that. I want to burnish it so that I can actually get it off, get the tape off. Just use my take your pick tool. You could be sitting here watching forever and a day now, because sometimes this stuff never comes off, but I need to get some tear tape. I had some, but I've just used it all, so, which is not, well, it's good and it's bad, I suppose. I'm just going to fold that bit back because I don't really want it. So again, make sure that it is level top and bottom and left and right and straight. Not quite like, oops, it's probably gone down now. Oops, no it hasn't. Okay, that will do. So you're just going to push that down good and solid, and you're going to remove any excess glue that you have, which I just noticed is a bit here. Take that off, and voila, you should, she says, have a waterfall card. See, that will work. And then he's the one that's the last one, like that. And that's all there is to it. And then obviously you can then decorate the inside of your card And you can change these up. You can have them landscape going out to the side. You could do it as a single card, just one piece of card. But yes, that is it. Hopefully you can actually see it now. And then obviously if you want to, you can embellish on this portion, and you can wink of Stella on here. I wouldn't necessarily put any rhinestones and things on, simply because it's difficult then for that to fold under because it gets pulled through. So that's how the mechanism works. Let's push it back again. And the more you do it, the easier it becomes as well. So that is it. I hope you've enjoyed that. A couple of things to talk about very, very briefly. Celebrations on, obviously, so if there's anything that you want or need, celebration wise, or just, you know, supplies, then let me know. Next week we're back to Card and a Cuppa, except I will be doing it on Thursday morning next week, because I don't get back from the US until the afternoon of the Wednesday. So those of you who have ordered your Card and a Cuppa kits, hopefully you have those now. If not, they're winging their way to you as we speak, but let me know by the end of the week if there's been a problem. What else is there? Card and a Cuppa classes. So the class for end of September is now full for the in-person, and excuse me, closed for the Zoom. October's class will be going up shortly, so you'll be able to check that out on my blog. And really that's it for now, and I hope you've enjoyed that. As I said, if you leave a comment, question or whatever, then I will get sorting them out. And this has been recorded, so you will be able to watch this later, and I'll also get it up on YouTube, and there will be some brief written instructions that you can follow as well. And that's it. So thank you very much for spending some time with me, and I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye.